How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the pilot episode of the RNG Podcast.
I'm your special.
We didn't do a Christmas special because this is
It's like after Christmas, like 2 days.
This is a very unprofessional little gathering here. I'm your host for today. My name's Tyler. I'm joined with
Dean.
This is Dean. And we're gonna kick this thing off right. So if this is the first time that you're watching, and it probably is, it's a pilot episode. And what that means is we get to have a lot of fun laying down the groundwork for the bullshit that you're going to sit through.
For the random shit.
Yeah. RNG is an acronym that I'm sure a lot of people are probably familiar with if you've been on the internet for more than 10 minutes.
It's one of those gamer terms.
It's a gamer term. It actually just means random number generator or random number generation, but yeah, it's been adapted by the gamer population. Basically just means random shit.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this podcast is going to be.
We don't even know what we're going to talk about.
You have no idea. That's why I'm saying it's unprofessional. And that's not true. Because I came slightly prepared. Because, odds are if you're sitting at your computer and you're listening to this, you have nothing to do. And that's probably because you're stuck in your house because your government has decided to lock you inside.
Yeah, it's COVID too. It's
and I think my favorite pastime that I have been able to adapt since COVID started was watching really stupid people. And I was thinking...
What do you mean by stupid people?
I'm going to say. When I was thinking, about starting the podcast recording, I kept on thinking about, the more, I guess, professional podcasts and just media in general that are...
Like Joe Rogan?
Not even Joe Rogan, just...
Like the lower tier ones?
Maybe, no, I'm being too in specific. I'll be specific. I'm talking about, news people. Like anchors.
Like news podcasts?
Not even just news podcasts.
Those are weird in and of itself.
Those shouldn't be a thing. It's boring as shit. But I'm talking about these companies, company-owned programs, that are tied down to fulfilling some kind of corporatized need, right? How they're forced to say certain things. Like they're forced to believe in certain things. And that takes so much away from
sort of like an ad in a podcast in a sense.
Yeah, but not even ads are fine. If you need to,
it's not even that. It's the whole thing.
That's your hustle. That's your hustle. If you need to run ads to make money in your podcast, I'm fine with that. But I'm talking about when podcasts start getting censored, and I've seen so many people.
Mm-hmm. That's why, because I want to start this out just for fun.
That's what I've seen.
No holds barred. Because then once you get the sponsors and everything, which who knows if this will even happen. This is like. In the making, we don't even know. I just want to start the podcast just to shoot the shit.
Yeah.
No holds barred. We talk about whatever.
And that's exactly the point of it, is to not, have ourselves be censored and not get, absolutely gutted by a corporation. And actually that leads me into my next little tangent here, talking about news organizations. This just popped into my head. Do you remember when back in 2010, and you'd go on YouTube, and it would be real late at night, and you didn't want to watch anything scary because you were a child, but you wanted to watch something that was
edgy.
Ooh, I wonder. And you looked up UFO sightings, and you were like, holy shit, that looks so real. I wonder if it is. And for the longest time, I feel like the internet generation really, really loves aliens. I feel like we love the shit out of aliens.
More people believe in them now.
Way more people believe in them.
Or it just makes sense.
And I think that's why when they decided that they were going to declassify everything about aliens, not everything, but they were here's this drone footage.
It's a conspiracy of itself, because when they declassified, the first report was with the unidentified flying object of the U.S. military that declassified it 25 years after. Was it 25 years?
The one that I'm thinking of specifically is
the black dot that's the plane's
they all
tracking.
look like.
No, but it's it was declassified, I think, last year, but some big event was going on, some movement or whatever, and that's why it flew under the radar. And now with the recent one I told you about, the guy talking about the Galactic Federation.
That's so funny.
I know, I get what you mean. It seems believable that it says Galactic Federation. That's a Star Wars term.
It's not even. It's
if
so
it's called
unimaginative.
Galactic Government or something.
That's better.
Or the Bureau of
Bureau of Space.
Bureau of Space. It would be okay. But it's interesting because we're not the only people in the world.
I just love it that so little people cared. when they declassified
Well,
it.
it's just,
You're not alone. You're
just
not alone in the
people are
universe.
ignorant.
Because they had their eyes on other shit, like stupid. I don't know. People don't want to learn things anymore. It's like they are totally fine.
It's like it's taboo aliens. Like, why would you like, you believe in aliens, but you wouldn't go any further. You just like, I believe in them.
Yeah, right. Because then you're a conspiracy theorist, and that's what's so shitty about the poor Navy pilots who come out and say like, "Hey, I saw something up there that I don't know how to explain," and they're told to like shut up about it. And that's what I was. That's how I got on to watching these videos before. There was this incident that happened I think it was in 2003, 2005, and it happened off of the USS Nimitz. It was called. It's the Nimitz incident. It's a pretty famous UFO incident. And all these guys, all these Navy pilots piloting different aircraft, saw this pill-shaped object flying around, darting all over the place.
It was like an oval or like pill.
Yeah, and it was about the size of an F-15. And the way that it came to their attention was because there was this massive disturbance beneath the water off of like the boat, like away from the aircraft carrier, whatever they were launching off of. And they went to investigate it, and they saw the pill above this disturbance in the water. So the Super Hornets that they scrambled to check it out, they got bugged out because they're like, this thing is defying the laws of physics, bouncing all over the place.
It's like moving up and down, left and right, like completely erratic patterns.
Yeah.
Like no aircraft that ours could do.
And the craziest movement that it made was when they first got it on radar. It was like at 30,000 feet or something, which is like cruising altitude for a commercial airliner. And then in like 3 seconds, it was 40 feet below sea level. Like it like a space elevator dropped out of the sky and was underneath the water.
Literally just turned into like tungsten.
Yeah.
Like just dropped.
Yeah, and one of the guys who was talking about that incident, they said if that were to happen normally, there would be sonic boom after sonic boom. Like it would just come down, and every other second there'd be a sonic boom.
And it didn't do that.
Nothing. So the reason I'm explaining this in detail at all is because the guys who saw this were censored like usual. Apparently these plainclothes looking dudes, they arrived on a Black Hawk, like actually I think they're called Seahawks. They called them Seahawks.
Okay.
These helicopters, like the Coast Guard helicopters, they showed up and they got off, and they told the guys to basically sign these NDAs. They gave them like literal NDAs to sign, and they couldn't talk about what they saw. And you know, whether or not that actually is evidence in and of itself of like alien collaboration, I don't know. It might just be we don't want our government employees or like, you know, our soldiers to look like nut jobs. But even then, it's really unfortunate that these guys have to go through so much shit and are told to basically shut up about it.
Well, it's just because then it's like, even then, like, because the evidence is probably in control of the government, and even if they do say something, they look like a crazy person, the government's going to silence it regardless. They're going to say, oh, it's not real. But with this evidence that recently came up, like, it just goes to show you that, you know, maybe not in the next 50 years, but we might get to the quote-unquote alien singularity of being a part of not just being united in one world, but being united in solar systems.
Yeah. I think that's probably
happening. That's the next big thing, is being able to be in contact with a different species.
Right.
That is out of our world, in a sense.
I don't know what the point of the declassification is now, because it's not like, you know, you're not blowing anybody's mind. Like so many people
it's
already
not,
are
not
like,
as dramatic as people want it to be. It's not like it's not like New York, like say like now for like COVID, so like Times Square is gonna be empty. It's like in New York at Times Square, and a ship comes down, the aliens come down.
People want Independence
Day. They look like
Day.
Squidward or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they want Independence Day, and they're not gonna get Independence Day, and that's why so many things that happen that, you know, come out of movies.
True. If Independence Day did happen, Trump was in the White House, they blew it up. Everybody'd be like, "Oh, the aliens are the best people ever."
Yeah,
they killed Trump.
They'd love it.
It'd be hilarious.
And I think that's probably what they're hoping for aliens to be like. Because I think people need, they need a greater thing to believe in. Because they don't like religion anymore. Mm-hmm. Nobody prays to anything anymore.
it all comes down to, like, what do the aliens look like? Do they look like us? Are they us with porcelain skin? Or do they look like disgusting creatures?
Well,
or do they look like the gray aliens?
It's so basic, too. And that's another thing that I dislike about the
Do
conversations
they look like,
around...
like dog people? Like furries? Or like, we don't know.
That's one of the things I don't like about the discussions about aliens in general, is you have all these people who are so concerned with, like, the superficial things, like, oh, what do they look like? Well, who cares what they look like? Who gives a shit what they look like? What are they gonna do when they get here? What are they going to do when we finally figure out a way to communicate with them? Are they on some kind of level where they can understand our thoughts? Can they understand English? Like, I don't give a shit what they look like. Most of the artist renditions of aliens are probably true. I mean, I believe that every story that has ever been told, every fairy tale, every urban legend, it came from something. You know, I don't think that there is...
So you're saying, like it wasn't made up. Like, you're saying, like, I don't know, werewolves, or, like, used to be this mythical creature or something.
Well, yeah.
Like, it was based on something.
Yeah. Because Native American and Native Canadian...
Maybe it's not based on a werewolf, like a wolf that looks like a beast that's, like, 7 foot tall. It could have been just, like, I don't know, like a hairy guy who's like a bum. Is like, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
It could be the exaggeration of that.
Yeah.
It could just be something like that.
But I also believe that those... I just think that the world is so old, and there's so many people in it, that at some point in time...
It's so old, but, like, the universe is, like... We're in the infant stage, too.
Oh, I know we are, but I think that at some point in time, you know, when the Bible was being written and when people were telling these stories of these crazy creatures that they believed existed, like I was going to say Native Canadian and Native American folklore is my shit. You know, I love reading all of that because it's all kind of similar. You know, like the Wendigo is your Skinwalker, is your Fleshgate, is your werewolf. They're all kind of the same thing.
This is stuff like most people don't even know about. We're diving deep into the rabbit hole.
I don't think it's that deep.
I didn't know what a Skinwalker was, but it's like a Wendigo, but not.
Okay, well,
I know what a Wendigo is because I played Until Dawn, and that's a native folklore.
I'll break it down. And this is the thing, right? It actually depends on who you ask and what, like...
Because we're not saying you have to believe us. It's just,
No, you should believe us.
Well,
you should believe everything I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you.
That's the thing. I just chalk it up for what it is. Like, I just like the storytelling of it and the creativity behind it.
Yeah, no, me too. That's what got me originally invested in it.
If it's real, that's cool. I mean, I'm gonna be scared in the forest if I hear like something. I'm gonna be like, is that a Wendigo or something, or a wolf?
That's the worst part is I've become.
It's just people don't want to know what it is. They don't want to believe it's real because then they're gonna get scared when they're in the forest.
I just think that there are some people out there who literally are so self-obsessed that they believe there is nothing in the world that can be greater than them. Nothing in the world that can be greater than humans. Like, humans are the apex predator in every single regard. There is no monster, there is no alien, there is no god, you know? It's just these... And I think that's really boring. I think that kind of lifestyle is super fucking boring because it leaves no room for storytelling, it leaves no room for creation of anything, because if you believe you are the apex, then what's the point in trying? But that's... like way too philosophical. I just want to talk about monsters. I just want to talk about my favorite forest-dwelling beasts. So yeah,
that's good.
I don't know which one I like more though. I liked Skinwalkers because of the internet and because of 4chan.
It's like that. What's that one picture that you see? Is the rake? Is that a Skinwalker?
The rake. Okay, yeah, and that's another great thing about like internet storytelling culture in general is
that was a creepypasta.
Yeah, right? The rake is a creepypasta, but what the rake is this gangly, hunched over, long-armed, long-fingered, bald dude in the woods who eats you. Okay, well that's basically what a Skinwalker is, minus all the cool parts. Minus the part where it mimics your voice and can turn into the people it's killed, you know? It's like somebody read...
But it doesn't turn into them. It takes over their... wears their skin?
It depends. Again, it depends on who... it depends on which tribal elder you talk to. It depends on who you talk to, if they're Cree, if they're Algonquin. The stories are so varied yet so similar. Because some people say that a Skinwalker is actually just a man or like a shaman who has the ability to turn into animals. And then there are some and that's pretty harmless. But there are also some people...
He's like an animorph.
exactly like an Animorph, yeah, but he does't pick one animal. He can be whatever animal he wants. Usually it's like a coyote or a bird or something.
Cool.
And then there are some people who were like...
Killer bee.
A killer bee. I wonder if the skinwalkers in those stories, like the men, I wonder if they have to see the animals, or if they can, like... I don't know much about them, because frankly I find them boring. I don't care. I like the monsters better. The monster version of the skinwalker stalks the forest and looks again like this hunched over, really tall, gangly, gross thing. Usually
with the disc, he's got a bad back. He's got back pain.
They look like they need some kind of orthopedic support. Yeah,
they need Robaxacet.
Something awful. And they've got like weird, greasy, long hair, and I hate them.
What color's the hair? White.
Usually it's black.
It's black.
Yeah, usually.
Why is it greasy? Are you saying they're Italians?
Yes. No, that's the Native Americans saying that. It's not me.
I'm Italian, so I can make that joke.
Yeah, let's not try to. We're gonna speed run all of the offended classes in one time. First, okay, then we gotta offend women next, and then it'll be the blacks, and then it'll be gays. But no, back to the monster. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the hair. Not important really. Basically, what it does is it will stalk people, eat them, kill them, whatever it wants to do. And then there are some versions that will literally take on like the physical appearance of the person it devours.
Okay.
And that is usually a perfect recreation of the person's physical form, and it can also mimic their voice, but not very well. Like it'll
say certain phrases.
Yeah, it'll only gurgle out the phrases that it's heard people speak in the forest. So it's really hard for it to blend in for very long. But then I've also heard stories where they can completely formulate sentences, and sometimes they can like use their phones, but they can't drive, and they can't do other basic functions that a human can do. But those are all like very, 4chan scary green text posts that everyone's obsessed with making, and I like reading them. So, and that once you read those, you think, okay, what about the people who've actually told these legends before? What do they say about it? And
are these from natives?
Yeah, they will be your Native Canadian, Native American people, and they will. It's difficult because I've actually had I've seen a bunch of people on these boards who claim to be native of some kind, and they will say like, "Yeah, no, we have seen these things near our reserves." Or we have been telling stories about these things for years. Some people claim to have seen them. Some people have never seen them. But like, there is so much history in those stories, and there are so many people who tell them over and over again. And I don't know how many of them are real. I've never really seen anything in my life, which is interesting because typically you'd think, okay, for somebody to believe in all these outlandish things, they must have had some kind of experience that warped their perception of the world, and that's not the case. I'm very curious about that kind of shit, so I go and seek it out.
What would you do if you saw a Wendigo?
Wendigo? You're screwed.
No, not the skinwalker. Like, what if we like went up to Algonquin and we camped out, whatever, just to go up for a trip, and then like you go, like we're around the fire, and then you go out, you go walk to like the bathroom, let's say, because like the way it works at a Algonquin campsite, usually you just go to a piss, when it's like hypothetical. You're like, oh, I'm gonna go take a shower or whatever, late night shower. So then you're walking through the campsite, and you're going to like the shower place, the shower building, and then it's just like you see something at the corner of your eye, and you see like a what you describe, black hair, white figure, bad posture, you know what I mean?
Scoliosis.
I don't know. Long nails.
I don't know what I would do, because there's part of me that wants to see it.
Take a shower.
I just shower, yeah. There's part of me that really wants to see it.
But then you don't have your phone. Or no, you would probably have your phone.
I would have my phone, and I would make sure.
But then you would make sure not to put the flash on.
Yeah, see, I don't.
But then it's dark out, and it probably won't take the picture quality well.
That's like the most annoying part about all these stories is you read them and people can recall in such vivid detail where they were, when it happened, what the thing looked like, but there's never any pictures, you know?
It's like that with Sasquatch.
Like everybody, Sasquatch people are the fucking worst because they're
Look out, Sasquatch
There's
people.
stories, Sasquatch community, fuck off, okay? Provide something worthwhile. Actually, there was this guy.
Sasquatch is not real. It's just a guy in a suit.
I don't know about that. Okay, Sasquatches are a rabbit hole. Because you start researching Sasquatch, right? Or your Bigfoots. And it's like, okay, it's a big hairy ape that lives in the woods. Who even cares if that's real, right? And then you start reading about, like, you know, all the cave paintings and how they had maybe some kind of society where they were intelligent enough to live together and create hierarchy. And then you start reading even deeper, and you find out about the orbs. Are you familiar with the orbs?
Where are the orbs?
The orbs are, I mean, they're just orbs.
It's like a left turn. You went from like caveman society. And I'm like, okay.
Well, that's what it is.
And you're just like orbs.
It is a left turn.
Orbs. What's with the orbs?
Because
now?
eventually you get to the orbs.
What are the orbs?
The orbs are orbs.
Sasquatch orbs?
Yes. And what
What
they
if
do...
it's just their nuts?
It's not. They float.
Oh, they
and
float.
they're blue.
They're
and
nuts
white.
or the orbs?
I don't know if... I don't want to think about that, to be honest with you. But the orbs...
The orbs float.
Please let me talk about the ghost orbs.
Alright.
And the orbs are these things that apparently hover around where Sasquatches have either been or where they're going to be. And why I say going to be is because certain people believe that Sasquatches can teleport or walk through different dimensions. And that is sort of like, that is the deepest part of the Sasquatch iceberg, is when you get there and you start hearing about people, because that's how they're able to, you know, move without being seen. That's people's rationale.
Yeah.
You know, if you talk to a real legit, I'm into it Sasquatch believer, they will tell you that the reason people don't see them is because they don't need to really exist in a physical space. They can go wherever they want. And they can literally either teleport just on our physical plane, or they can access different dimensions. I don't really know. I don't really find that interesting.
It's a bold claim.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. And there was a guy on YouTube that my dad actually showed me. And he was a big Sasquatch guy. And he would camp out in the woods. I don't know if he had a bunch of land in the US, and he would just go out onto it, or if he was just always in the woods. And he'd put up cameras, and he would talk to these things. He would, because if you're into Sasquatches, bless you.
You rape the mic.
Yeah, please don't do that away from the mic.
Yeah, it's COVID.
And they would,
dying.
And they would, they would howl. Okay, if you know about Sasquatches, you know about this noise they make. It's a very recognizable whooping noise.
I remember I went a little bit into the Sasquatch rabbit hole, but I forget what they sound like. Is it like a monk, like a gorilla screaming?
It's kind of like. Yeah, it's like a big ape noise, but it's not a bunch of rapid.
A deep tone or a higher pitched tone.
Both. They can actually.
Oh, they can do the high notes and low notes.
And that's how this guy, who, like I said, would go into the woods, put up his camera, and start howling to these creatures, and they would howl back. And they would make like a bunch of different, low, high, long, short little calls.
But then there's the nihilist that would say, "Oh, that's just another Sasquatch
Sasquatch hunter."
They're just calling out to each other.
Honestly, I think that would be the best revelation possible. Is you find out that the entire
that's the conspiracy. It's all these guys going out in the same spot.
They all think that they're going to go into Milwaukee or wherever the Sasquatches are, and they all think they're going to find them, and they start howling like crazy people in the middle of the night, and there's just another crazy guy howling back at them. That would be fantastic. If there is no Sasquatch, it's just the entire community propping themselves up. I would like that. That would actually be like a nice story.
That would be great.
But this guy apparently, like I said, he talked to them, he howled at them, he caught the orbs on camera. But there's a bunch of people. I mean, again, if you're into paranormal stuff in general.
So these orbs the same as ghost orbs.
It's the same principle, I guess. Yeah. Okay. It's just like energy.
Ghost orbs are confirmed real. They're.
I don't know if they're confirmed real, but they're if you believe in the paranormal ghost mythos, then yeah.
No,
ghost
but
orb.
a camera can pick it up, right?
Yeah, a camera can pick it up supposedly, but people will see a ghost orb and they'll be like, "Ew, it's dust," all the time, because ghost orbs are the most bullshit.
What does a ghost orb look like?
It literally just looks like a piece of dust.
I'm thinking it's this ball about that big, on the camera screen. It's very noticeable, but it's not. Is it very noticeable?
Oh, it's noticeable. It's and that's the only part about it that makes it somewhat compelling to look at, because the orb will look like an orb, and the people who say it's dust will usually be rebutted by the people who were like, well, where's the light coming from to make it look that bright? Because they're always very bright. Mm-hmm. And I have actually seen a couple videos where ghost orbs have been caught like in somebody's basement or whatever, and the orb will be radiating such a light. Yeah, caught.
No, that's funny because I'm just thinking of like a ghost orb, and the guy has like a net, like a bug net, and just like whoop.
I'm trying to think of.
Just caught the ghost orb.
I'm trying to think of what the name of this. Oh, damn, it's escaping my mind. Anyway, it's the name of this house.
Is there a reason why crazy stuff always happens in the basement? Is that
That's a good. Okay, again. I don't know why I know so much bullshit about paranormal mythos, but there is a reason why it happens in the basement.
I knew it's got to be a reason because I'm like, there's always not just because I just realized it, but it's always in like horror movies, like in a haunted house, typical horror movie in the haunted house with the ghost. It's always in the basement or it's a burial ground.
Well, that's just because it's creepy. But I can explain to you why in a modern home why that happens. Because back in the day.
Is it because, like, here's my theory, say, like, someone was buried on a lot and then they moved the body and then someone built the house?
Well,
it's like,
yeah, that's
like,
an obvious
one. It's like
one.
You're ruining the burial ground.
Yeah.
Like, you're below and that's, like, their tomb now.
If you disturb the dead in any way, shape, or form, that's just not a good thing to do in general.
Yeah.
Typically, that's not
Sorry, necrophiliacs.
Yeah, that's...
Hate to burst your bubble.
I don't think they need to be told. I think they know what they are.
They're gonna do it.
They're gonna, you know what? Yeah, just
they're up there with feet people.
Jesus, oh yeah, no, fucking feet people need to be executed. But that's I'm in the paranormal mood, so I'm gonna talk about ghosts more. I'm gonna answer your question. Basement. So ghosts in a modern house will be caught in the basement because your basement is where all of your electrical shit is. Your breaker.
Yeah, the breaker.
Ghosts, because of the modern understanding, are very receptive to electrical currents and just electricity in general. A lot of their ability comes from proximity to electrical sources. They need that electricity to be able to, like, power up, almost like a battery. So when a ghost does something physically, when a ghost moves a book, knocks something off of a table, slams a door, that takes up a lot of its energy. And depending on the type of ghost, it won't be able to do that again for a while. But if it's like a demon, it can do it pretty much as it wants. A poltergeist can do it as much as it wants with very little energy.
A poltergeist? I thought
a poltergeist is... It's basically specializes in moving shit around and holding stuff in the air.
Okay.
And there are some fantastic YouTube videos about poltergeists. Like, there was this one guy I saw.
Or you could watch the movie.
Well, that
sponsored by Poltergeist.
I don't know if the original Poltergeist movie.
I haven't seen it.
The original one? You've never seen the original one? The original one's a lot of fun.
I purposely didn't actually go on YouTube to look up scenes.
I think they remade that? And
they did remake it, and
I've seen them both. They're both stupid. It's like not a good horror movie.
No,
but it's
I will
a fun
say
movie.
I've heard of the scene. I've only seen like the Family Guy version of it. But I knew my dad.
Family Guy.
You know what the where he like the cut face in the mirror, and then he rips his face off. But then the Family Guy version, it's King of the Hill, and he's like propane.
Oh, I forgot they did that shit like that, where they would cross over with other like Fox TV animated series.
Yeah, but now they do it like with like Seth MacFarlane has a monopoly on like adult animation. Like,
yeah.
The only other one I think of that's outside is like Rick and Morty.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, with Family Guy, it's like whenever they do like crossovers, like say with Bob's Burgers, I remember saw one with Bob's Burgers, and they talk down to Bob's Burgers, like we got better ratings. It's like, what?
It's really strange.
It's even like with the Cleveland show when they brought like Cleveland back, and then they just chirped him the whole time. Joe and Quagmire and Peter. It's interesting.
You know what's fun? The worst thing about the internet, I think, is its ability to turn something into a fucking joke. Like, Family Guy was always terrible and always has been.
I liked it when I was younger, but I watched it at a young age, and I liked it. Even then, like, I can go back and watch the early episodes for nostalgia.
I don't know. I've never had an attachment to it, so I will claim it's terrible till the very end. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, like, it's also bad on an animation perspective. You can just tell.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's super basic Yeah, if you really wanted to get technical about it with the animation,
like,
it is bad.
It's the
and the
perfect
writing's
style.
fucking stupid.
It's all you can tell all the characters are all like puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
The hands are just presets, the mouths are presets. It's all like, it's lazy. And like the program they have now, I think it's Toon Boom. There's a button on there where to make it nighttime, you just press the button and all the colors change to nighttime.
Are you serious? What the fuck? Really?
Yeah,
That's so weird.
Yeah. It's just lazy. Well, because like, it's like with the podcast they used to listen to. They said like the budget got bigger, but nothing improved.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Nothing improved. The only good episode I saw was the Family Guy Simpsons crossover, which was actually pretty good. I liked it because it basically at the end they basically made fun of the Simpsons and Family Guy because the joke is actually really clever. So. Peter's at the bar with Homer, and Homer's like, "Here." No, they try each other's beer, and then Peter tries Duff beer, and then Homer tries the Pawtucket Pat beer, Peter's beer.
Yeah.
And he's like, "This tastes like Duff," and he rips the label off, and he's like, "See?" And that's basically saying Family Guy ripped off the Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
But then they go to court, and the guy who's the judge is Fred Flintstone.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Which is funny, because then that's saying Simpsons and Family Guy ripped off the Flintstones with the whole family set.
But that is so typical of American creators in general, just accusing everybody of stealing their shit. Like, you made it a successful animated series.
Meanwhile, Japanese people are all like, isekai. It's like, great.
Well, that's what's funny about, that's a humongous difference between Western animation and Eastern animation. Because if you look at the Western animation scene, and I was talking to a bunch of people. I've talked to a bunch of people about this in general, where you explain to them what anime is, and they're like, "Well, it's animated, isn't it for kids?" Yeah, most of it, a very large majority of it, but there is a lot of series that, like Family Guy, is not for kids. Do a lot of kids watch it?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, well, like, that's the thing. It's that, like...
If you showed a kid,
for an
though...
older audience, but, like, they're gonna watch it on Netflix. Family Guy is kid humor, and it's adult for adults, but it's really, like, for, like, 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's like what I did. When I grew out of Family Guy, the next thing I went to was American Dad. American Dad's a lot better. Because the characters are actually characters. They actually have way better character development. Family Guy, they're all just one-sided now parodies
of fucking character development in a fucking shitty animated sitcom.
Well, it's just they have more,
like it even exists.
Well, it's just like Family Guy's just like they're all just one-sided characters. Like
yeah, because they're jokes.
Peter's an asshole. He's not a lovable. Oh, he just does shit, and then like Lois is like, "Oh, Peter."
Oh, Peter.
Oh, Peter. And then he's like, "Shut up, you broad."
Yeah, see that?
It's bad now. I haven't seen South Park though.
I have, and it's like, I don't know.
It's like more extreme, like with like raunchiness.
Well, that's
then like the jokes are really good or something. I don't know. I never got into it.
I'm not a fan of it either. I've seen a lot of it, and because a lot of people whom I'm acquainted with watch it, and I don't care. Like I don't think it's that. I don't find that kind of humor funny. Like to me, I think it's my own fault too, because well, it's not my own fault, actually. It's a good thing.
Well, it's humor you don't like. If you don't like it, you don't like it. People are like, "Oh, why don't you like it?"
No, but it's because of what I watch, or what I watched as a kid. When some kids grow up, they find South Park and they think this is the edgiest, funniest thing on the planet. You know what I watched as a kid was like fucking Seinfeld and MASH. I love MASH. MASH is like the greatest. I wouldn't say it's the greatest sitcom ever made, but it's up there. MASH is fantastic.
MASH is about... I've seen it on, like, TLN. Like,
it's awesome.
It's like... I've never really watched it. I would watch clips of it, but, like, it's about the Korean War, and it's like a stationed, like, army base.
MASH is an acronym that... I don't know if they still use MASH.
I forget the acronym.
Mobile Army Surgical Hospital.
Mobile Army.
So it's all just tense.
Yeah.
And the whole show is about everything being really shitty, but the reason that the characters are able to get through it is because they're constantly making jokes about everything, which is, I think, it's not supposed to be taken serious, but because I am autistic when it comes to analyzing
we are all
anything in a story.
A blue hat.
A blue hat.
You know that hat.
Yeah, no, I know the hat. And I think that's probably like a sort of a satire or just like a literal description of how people in the Korean War or just wars in general get through. Most of it is just through like really dark humor. But even then though, like the show was written in, oh Christ, I don't know the year, if it was the 50s or the 60s or the 70s, I don't remember.
I think it was done because when did the Korean War happen? 50s?
It's one of those wars I know nothing about.
Okay.
I don't give a shit about the Korean War.
I think the Korean War might have been before or after the Vietnam War, so it might have been the 70s.
And that's the problem. I always get those two confused.
It might have been the 70s, late 70s. I don't think the 80s. I think it might have been the 70s.
I mean, regardless, basically what I'm trying to say is old school humor is much more my style.
Yeah.
Much more my style.
That's why I like old school anime. I just love the aesthetic of it. I just love everything about it.
How old though will you go for anime?
Oh, like I'm not watching Speed Racer.
When was? Oh God, that's right. Speed Racer was an anime.
I'm surprised they haven't remade it.
Well, they made that stupid movie like in 2009.
The
live action.
Yeah, they made
one.
that, but I'm surprised because they remade Dororo.
Dororo, yeah. Dororo's remake is really good.
Yeah,
I really like that.
Imagine if they
Dororo's really old too.
Imagine if
the manga for that's ancient.
Like they took Speed Racer and then they added like the modern racing elements of anime. It would be pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
because all they do is talk fast, and it's like you're on like crack, and it's like fucking bad.
You have to be on some kind of drug to slow down time.
Like
watch a
60s
show like
anime
that.
is like it's tough to watch.
Trying to think
I
of-
remember I watched the first Lupin the Third episode ever, and it was just like
Lupin the Third's that old?
it's that
It's
old.
from the 60s?
60s, yeah, because you can tell by the animation. It's very choppy. It's very minimalistic. It's old.
Was that Astro Boy? That was like around Astro Boy then, and Marzinger Z, stuff like that. Yeah,
But
no.
then the animation gets better, but it's just because I wanted to see like, is there an origin story? Which there isn't. It's just you can start wherever, and then that's how you go, and then you just learn the characters as you go.
And that's another thing that I don't particularly like is series that run way too goddamn long that never stop, and that's another really terrible symptom of Western television and movies.
Well, you can say that about
they
One Piece.
never stop. Oh, what? Fuck One Piece, dude. I mean, it has.
I watched all the dubs.
I think it has a story. I really don't know. I'm never gonna find out. Everybody
I watched all
said.
the dub. I will say for what I watched, it was like I can see why people like for a long anime like that. You just get to know the characters and you just want to see them keep going and just because the only thing keeping you there is the overarching goal. That's all that's
which
keeping
is
you there.
what? To find the One Piece?
find the One Piece.
Whatever the fuck that even is.
And then because I got into it back when I was like hesitant for anime. Like I would watch only like not edgy stuff, but like more realistic stuff.
Yeah.
But not like slice of life. Like I want like action.
Yeah.
Like anime. So I watched One Piece mainly because I remember seeing it as a kid and I didn't know what it was. And I had the first volume in high school. I just didn't know what it was. I
Yeah,
didn't know where to
right.
Get it. I thought it was like a comic. But like with that, it's just like I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's like I just lost my train of thought.
Neither does One Piece.
Yeah,
One Piece doesn't know where it's going with it either.
It was good.
This is what the show is.
After the dub, I was like, okay, maybe I should start continuing it. And then after I saw what's after, I'm like, now there's a rabbit girl, and now there's like I don't know.
That's actually, you know what though? That could be a decent experiment in and of itself, is watching One Piece, because One Piece has literally existed through multiple generations of people.
Like Pokemon.
So you can tell where tropes start and end in that show. So like if you're really into trope analyzation and is that even a word? Did I say a real word
Trope
there?
analysis. I don't even know what a trope is.
You know what a trope is?
A trope? No.
So it's
I
like,
feel like
okay.
I know what it is, but I can't. But
So a trope is like it's like a cliche, like the
cliche.
tsundere, right?
Okay.
The tsundere archetype.
Yeah.
That's a trope.
Okay.
A girl who is into the main guy, but is like a bitch about it. Okay, That's a trope. And trope is usually used as like a negative thing to be like, oh, this is just, it's kind of a pretentious thing, because it's like, oh, I've seen this before, whatever. You've seen everything before, who cares? But, if you're also, not a dick and like to have fun, you can just recognize that, okay, so they're doing this with that character. They're doing this with that arc, because you've seen it before, which is how you analyze stories in general. You connect it to shit. But a trope is just that. It's being able to connect one thing that you've seen before to the thing you're looking at right now. And I think that a show as long as One Piece, you'd see what tropes were popular, because they would use tropes from, I don't know when did it start, like late 90s? Was it post-Evangelion?
Yeah.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah, it definitely was post-Evangelion. Well, okay, when did the manga start?
Oh, when did the manga start? Oh, I don't know. All I know is, like, well, because I always appreciate animation, but, like, I love, like, the old One Piece before they modernized it. I love the water-style backgrounds, how they're, like, it's the main background, but then it's got, like, an outline of, like, white. It looks like a painting.
Yeah. That's, I think a lot of the, I think a lot of background art for late 90s anime you could put in a goddamn museum.
Yeah, it's all painted.
It's some of it is absolutely beautiful. Like
it's just, you can't recreate it with digital, because digital just, I mean, you can, but it's just, I don't know.
And you know, that's another problem too, is modern digitally made anime is so hard to look at sometimes, because I just am like, okay, this is just a cityscape, like I hate this. And because there's no soul put into the backgrounds anymore. Because back in the day in anime production, or animation productions in general, when you had to rely on literally nothing but your talent, there was no technical boost to prop you up.
Yeah.
You had to put heart into everything because you needed to make it look presentable.
I just love how in 80s anime or even 90s, you're watching it and you see like for like Evangelion, you see like Asuka's skin turn blue and you're like, what?
Yeah.
There's like those imperfections. It's like,
sometimes there's...
Is that like a joke something happened? Or like what happened there? They run out? Like...
It's really... Yeah, you do run into those issues every once in a while, but you can tell when they really wanted to make something look really good. Mm-hmm. Because if you look at background... I'm trying to think of like a really stupid popular show. Okay, Asterisk War. Have you ever seen Asterisk War?
No.
Yeah, good. Don't. It's fucking awful.
Should I say the one that shall not be named?
I don't even... What are you talking about?
I think you know where I'm going with this.
I don't. Does it have to do with background animation?
It's an old... It was in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's not really that known. JoJo.
Well, JoJo's... I think JoJo's 90s.
There's the 90s JoJo, like...
OVAs.
OVA.
Was it even bad? I don't know.
I don't know. I was just like, it's JoJo, and it's like in the old time. I just want to watch it. Christian watched it, and he he didn't like it.
JoJo's now is fine. Like it's in terms of animation, it's fine. Like I don't know. I've watched, we've watched it together, and from what I've seen a lot more of Part 5 on my own, and I think that's my favorite because I just like the setting a lot more, and I like the characters way more. And talk about art. That looks good. Part 5's backgrounds look really good. Honestly, everything in Part 5 looks fantastic. I can't complain about any of the visuals in that part.
I mean, I was a bit hypocritical going into JoJo because I was like,
that was cringe.
It was just the fan base.
It is fucking cringe. And that's again, like we were talking about before, the internet ruining things.
It's just they beat a joke like till like they don't. It's not like till it stops.
Yeah, thanks Reddit. Going. Thank you for that, Reddit. Thank you for ruining. Basically we don't. Basically all of part 3 I think is just a Reddit moment. Because, part 1 and 2, they don't really have that many super big memes.
No, I liked part 1 and 2. I thought part 1 was good, and then like part 2 got better.
Yeah.
Joseph is a really good character, and right now I'm on part 3.
Cars is just kind of a boring villain.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never liked the Killer Man stuff.
Yeah. I mean, like...
I like Dio way more.
It's something different. Like, I liked it because it was like... Because Dio's good, but that was before, like, Dio was like... when he was writing the manga. It was like before he was going to bring Dio back.
Yeah, that's true.
But then it would be redundant, I would think, if it was like... If Joseph fought Dio, and then like, then Dio comes back again. He's like... The way the writing works is... Like, how would he come back again? You know what I mean?
Well, he had to be found.
They found him. Yeah, in part 3, they found him, and he was in Jonathan's body.
I do respect them though I respect Araki, the mangaka, for it, for basically being like, okay, yep, we're done here. There's way too many fucking Dio appearances. I'm going to basically keep doing what I'm doing, but in another universe, like in an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
which is I think is it Steel Ball Run that does it? Which one happens first? Is it Stone Ocean or Steel Ball Run?
So it's like, so there's Phantom Blood. What's the other one? Something Menace or whatever. Joseph.
The Phantom Menace.
There's Jonathan Joseph. Phantom Menace. Jotaro, then Josuke, and then there's...
And then Italy.
Buongiorno, as his name is.
Christ, is it Steel Ball Run or Stone? Or is it even?
I think it's Stone Ocean because
oh yeah, because
Giorno's Dio's kid, and then there's Josephine or
that's not Josephine. What is it? Isn't it Jolene or something?
Jolene. I keep mixing that up.
Jolene, I don't know her name.
And then
and then after that, Steel Ball Run.
I think,
and they literally have the same character, like the same names. They just
Steel Ball Run. I want to read the manga, but at the same time, I want to watch the anime.
It'll look really good when
it's a Western anime.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
That's weird, a Western anime.
That's kind of what Cowboy Bebop was. Cowboy Bebop was sort of like a Western style of storytelling.
No, but it's like a Western anime. What do you think of Western anime? You think like Boondocks or something?
Oh, that's what you meant. I think you meant
no,
like
it's a double meaning.
West.
It's just a double meaning. It's just me being autistic. It's just like, but like Western anime, like because it's Johnny Joestar and I know Zappelli's in it, but like because I saw like a fan animation on YouTube and Steel Ball Run. I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. And it basically said the premise. I was like, oh, okay, it's like a race across the U.S.
Yes, and they have to find like the body parts of Christ or something. It's the most bombastic, ridiculous shit I've ever read, and it's amazing.
That would be good.
It's like the Da Vinci Code on horseback.
There's one more after that where it's like it's with the Joko Star, where he's a caveman and he has to go on a journey to create fire.
Okay, you're not funny. It wasn't even good. It's fucking terrible.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, okay, well, it's in your head, that's why. But that's another series that I would like to see end. Like, I just... The good stories have to end at some point. That's why I'm so upset that Berserk is never going to fucking get finished. That's why Hunter x Hunter's never going to get finished.
Well, like, I would... with JoJo, I like how he's like, okay, we're done with the bloodline of the Joestars. I'm just gonna go and do anthology and just make up its own condensed story.
Yeah, that's cool too. You know,
so that's the right way of doing it. You know what I mean?
But then again, that is like short story kind of mindsets, and people don't like short stories, or at least I.
It's like with Stranger Things. When I first heard Stranger Things, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like anthology, like American Horror Story, and then I found out
that actually would have been a good idea.
No, that would have been amazing.
That could have been cool.
That would have been good. But then I was like. I watched the
like
first
a Twilight Zone kind of thing.
Yeah, because like Stranger Things, the title. You know what I mean?
That is true. The title.
Because like that'd be cool. Like the first season of Stranger Things was good, and it could have been its own condensed story.
Yeah, and they should have.
And then they could have went on to something else.
Yeah, they shouldn't have brought back any of the other characters.
But then it's like
continued.
But then it's like what like
making original stories.
But then it's like maybe they thought, oh, we already have Black Mirror. Why do we need to make another one?
But again, though, you know, that's the folly of not only American creators, but American consumers. They get way too attached to the media they consume, and they can't move on.
Yeah.
Which is just, I can't fathom that. Like, a good story is meant to be enjoyed because it's over at some point, right? Mm-hmm. It does have an ending. Like Star Wars should have been done with. You know, it finished.
Yeah, I will say I like the 7th one. I like the ending of the 7th one and what it was setting up for, and then the next one happened. Which a buddy of mine, he's a huge Star Wars fan. He told me this conspiracy theory about it of how because you've seen the 8th one, right?
Yeah, I've seen them all.
So
I've seen everything Star Wars.
So because that one was botched, and what happened? Spoilers. What happened was, well, you're not gonna watch it because it's bad. Basically, the Emperor guy who's bald.
Snoke.
The Emperor.
Right.
Pseudo-Emperor.
Basically just the Emperor because we couldn't think of another villain, yeah.
And, and how he dies and, all this build-up for what this bad guy was is just cut off.
And Kylo Ren
he said it all stems from the first scene in the next movie where, it goes to Rey holding the lightsaber.
Yes.
And Luke picking it. And when he throws it over his shoulder, that was the director saying, "Oh, we're just botching."
Or the writers being like, "Yeah, fuck it."
The director or whoever's in charge saying, "We're just that's it. We're just throwing it out the window." Which really is stupid. It's like he didn't care.
It's heartbreaking too.
You have one movie. It's like, why don't you just string it along?
When
you just gotta like fuck it up.
There's an interview where Mark Hamill is talking to somebody, and I don't even know if it's taken out of context because I've never seen the full interview, but I don't think it is. And Mark Hamill is literally saying to the interviewer, like, this makes no sense. Like, Luke Skywalker is the hope of the galaxy, and it's not like Luke Skywalker has ever been a nihilist before. Like, Luke Skywalker would be down for the cause no matter what. He's not this hermit, he's not this crotchety old man, you know, and he's not what Yoda appeared to be in Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back. Like, that's not what... But even then, like, Yoda was only there because he was old, and because the Clone Wars were over, and the Empire was so strong.
Luke. He was doing his part.
He was meant to be there, you know.
I don't know if he could fight. I mean, like...
It depends, I don't know. The canon freaks will answer that question for you. I don't know anything about Star Wars canon.
Jar Jar Binks is a Sith Lord. Ahsoka is jailbait, and...
Ahsoka's getting her own show.
What?
Ahsoka's getting her own show.
Ah.
Because they introduced a bunch of characters in The Mandalorian, and she was one of them. And she's apparently getting her own show. Which
live, live action or CG?
I think it's live action.
Live action, okay.
Because I can't believe that. You know, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I can't believe that Ahsoka Tano from an animated series got brought over to a live action series, The Mandalorian, and is now getting her own show. That's really... I didn't think there was that many people who cared enough about the Clone Wars to actually want to see that character.
Well, the Clone Wars is a good show, from what I hear. It's a really good show.
Yeah, it's good after like the first.
It's one of the good Western animated shows.
It is. It's a great look into a pretty
it's
interesting part of the Star Wars
Ren and
canon.
Stimpy and Rick and Morty.
Okay, well, Rick and Morty, depending on who you ask.
I didn't mind Rick and Morty though. Like, if we want to get on that topic, but like I watched it before the cancer happened, and I liked it. It's like a good. It's a good like high school anime when you're like it's like an.
That's the only appeal to me. I think that when you're
because I like Dan Harmon. He did Community and he did that, and he was like, and I hate how the fan base was like threatening him to like make another series.
Oh, that's the
because he did his own series, which I think he just wanted to do just for fun. Harmon Quest.
What the fuck is Harmon Quest?
No one knows what it is. I think it was on like Verve or something, but I found it on one of the streaming sites. We're not going to say it, so it gets taken down.
Destroyed?
Destroyed.
Sent into the fucking internet void?
Internet void, but Harmon Quest. So it's basically D&D, but it's like a show. So it's called Harmon Quest, and it's basically D&D. So like, I think it's like 3 seasons of it. He has, I don't know who the celebrities are. They're probably just his friends. And he has guests on that contribute. And it's basically, the stuff that they describe is animated.
Oh! Wait, so are they actually playing D&D?
I think so. They don't say it is. I don't know if they couldn't get the sponsor, but it is D&D. It's basically D&D.
It's a TTRPG is what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's
what's a
amazing.
TTRPG?
Tabletop role-playing game. It's like, what?
It's that.
So if you're not playing Dungeons and Dragons and you're playing like Cyberpunk.
They're playing and then
TTRPG.
I think they write it themselves, and then they have the set characters, and then they bring the guests on to play along.
That's kind of cool. Okay.
And then there's this overarching story for each season, and it's really good. I like it. I liked it for what it was. It's really interesting.
That is so... Okay, that's kind of neat. I like anything that has D&D involvement in it. I don't know. It's just
that means you like Stranger Things.
And you know, I did like that that's a pretty neat inclusion, mainly just because this one D&D came out, right? Like D&D came out in the early...
Is it Demogorgon like an actual D&D?
Don't ask me. I don't know anything about I don't know anything about the base rules of D&D. Like, people right now are on I think it's the 5th edition of Dungeons and Dragons. And, like, I don't know any real fucking rules. I don't know fucking anything about it. I don't know anything about the main campaigns. I don't know anything about any of that because I think it's all bad. I make up my own games. I make up my own stories. When I DM shit, I make up everything because... Mainly, I don't want to have to... And I don't want to pay for anything.
But I just love, like, how you told me, like, the D&D, like, not made up ones, but the creative ones. I just thought of one where it's a D&D quest where you're just a druggie and you're trying to get to your deal and you're just going through shit. Like, you go to a convenience store and it's like you roll to see if you pay.
That's literally...
Or you just rob the guy and then you have to go on a different path to get there without being, like, notarized.
I did one when I
That's
was...
a free idea right there. They could just do, like, it'd be called Cocaine and Hookers or something.
That's basically what, what's it called? Shadowrunner? No, what's the fucking... There's another kind of cyberpunky one that isn't like cyberpunk. Oh my god, what's it called?
So I would want to do a cyber quest. So that's what we're calling it. That's what I would call it.
Yeah, no, I've never done... the closest thing that I ever did to that, when I was 12 or 13, I did it with... You can ask Makai, we did this, on Xbox 360 party chat.
Okay.
When in between playing Destiny 1, him and it was a 2-person campaign. It was literally him and a buddy of ours, Obi, who we played games with, and it was like this. I was really into the game Darkwood at the time. Darkwood was in beta back then, and basically what it was, it's like this really, really, really good atmospheric horror game, and that's basically what I based this campaign on, and it was just like Makai and Obi wandering through this post-apocalyptic yet very horror-driven world, and they just fought a bunch of shit that I made up in my head, and none of them rolled dice on their own. I rolled it for them, and it was basically just me telling a story that I wanted to tell over Xbox Live. But that's the magic about D&D, is you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And I hate... like, the stereotypical nerd is still...
I feel like there's two different terms.
Still the kind of people who play D&D.
There's a nerd and there's a geek.
Yeah.
You just stress this. So a nerd is someone who's very mathematical, who's like just they're like a nerd, is it what you say? But then a geek is someone who's into comic books, into like anime, into like nerd culture.
Yes.
I feel like there's a difference.
Yeah. But the people who are... Okay, well then if we're going to use your terminology, then the people who play D&D, like real... I forget what they call them. They call them like rule Nazis or something, because they get pissed off at DMs all the time if they do something that they think is against the rules, or if they want to bend the rules in their favor, they can do stupid shit. Like, D&D is supposed to be about, like, the adventure that you create. It's not supposed to be about the bullshit that you want to try to get away with, because you think you're going to outsmart everybody and you're going to impress everybody with how smart and cool you are. Like, get the fuck out of my campaign. I just want to kill goblins. Get the fuck out of my campaign, retard.
I just want to kill goblins. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
love that.
That's another thing that I like.
Goblin Slayer was like a D&D campaign. The guy was just stubborn and just wanted to kill goblins. I can only imagine being with that guy.
And that's the best thing.
You're doing the quest. No, I'm killing goblins.
Well, that's great though. When somebody makes a character that they're so into RPing, and they basically, you know, if it's a good type of RP, you know, if it's the kind of character that just wants to like fuck everything that moves. I hate those players so much. I'm okay with like sexual content in campaigns, but again though, there are some really lonely virginal weirdos who play D&D basically to act out their fetishes, and God, that's awful. I've never experienced it firsthand, thank Christ, because I've only ever run games for my like inner circle of friends. And that's another thing too. People do play D&D publicly, if you know even what that's like, where you go to a game shop, like a local game shop, and you basically put up a poster for your campaign if you're a DM, and you don't have any friends because you're a lonely virginal weirdo who still plays D&D.
Like a quest board.
Yes, exactly.
Like a quest board.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. And
oh my God. You
will be like, I'm running a campaign, it's on this edition, here's the lore, whatever, make a character and show up on this date if you want to play.
Yeah, you're going to get a masochist, an explosion expert, and someone that can't do any of that.
Just that would be, I don't know, Konosuba references, bro. Don't Redditize this fucking quick.
It's too easy, but no, that's hilarious. It's so cool.
So people will show up, and well, I mean, it can be cool if you get cool people, but it can also be really gross if you get certain kinds of people who are just awful.
They're just horny?
Yeah. They're just like either horny DMs or horny players, and it's awful. It's really hard. It's almost sad. It's almost pity. For me, it's pity because I'm like, wow, you are this fucked up inside, and you have to bring it to people's tables, and it's really awful to witness. But yeah, no. I'd like to try it at some point because I don't get to play D&D very often because I am kind of like the eternal DM for our group.
I haven't played it.
No, you've never played it with us yet. But I've run, I would say, probably 5 campaigns in my lifetime, and I've only I ran the one when I was really young, and then recently I ran like 3 or 4 back to back. And once you start DMing for your group, you're kind of stuck like that because nobody else knows how, nobody else wants to learn, which is fine. If you don't want to DM, that's totally okay, and you just want to play, that is fine. But I want to play. I've never got to play characters, and I have a bunch of characters created that I just make for fun that I would like to play at some point in time. But again, there's certain universes that are universes that I created, so I would have to DM them, or I'd have to show somebody else how to do it. So I don't know, it's not worth it.
You're literally God in this scenario.
Yeah, I know. But that's the worst part too. Is DMs that have God complexes. They think they can just do whatever the fuck they want and not let their players have fun. I don't know. There's a lot of cringe. A lot of cringe in D&D.
A lot of bullshit. Sounds like to me. A lot of people are power hungry. A lot of people are horny. I'm just here to play a game. It
is like a wretched hive of scum and villainy, right? For just of the nerd branch is D&D. It's the end all be all.
These are degenerates.
Yeah, 100%.
These are
100%. Because you don't get to. D&D is the final. Is the final, I would say.
Final form or final frontier.
The final 30 feet of the iceberg.
Final 30 feet.
You have gotten to the abyss. And it's nothing but cold, crushing depth. That's what D&D is. You start with, I don't know, liking Star Wars as a kid, and then you play D&D at the end of it all. So, you will meet only the strangest people. But it is a lot of fun. It's a shame, though, that,
if you have the right people.
Yeah, only run games for your friends, too. Only tell these stories to your friends.
Board.
Don't go to the quest board. And if you... there's a ton of people, if you're in university or whatever, maybe not in high school, because in high school, the closest thing that you might have or something like that is your anime and gaming club, but then again, stay away from that. It's
just usually you know what it is. It may not be all bad, but it's usually I know what you mean.
Just stay away from stuff like that. But in university, though, when people are older and they're more comfortable with...
More open to trying stuff.
Yeah, but even then, though, people who are, massive fucking nerds in university, I've met a ton of them who are just... And they're also, genuinely cool people, and it's just, a hobby of theirs. Mm-hmm. It's part of who they are as a person, but, they also have jobs and girlfriends, and they're going to school. So they are normal human beings who also just happen to be into D&D.
They're escaping
anime
the
or video
world
games.
To be in a fantasy, but they're not literally escaping the world.
No, exactly.
They're a degenerate and they got nothing going on.
Yes. And that is where, if you are, if you're somebody who's a nerd and you're into that kind of shit, go and meet people at your university who are into this, because there are groups that you can join that are into this kind of shit. Maybe not right now because of the fucking stay indoors virus.
Yeah.
But, when things get back to normal, you can find these clubs do exist, and people have been doing it for years and years, and I don't think it's going to go out of style anytime soon. So you can meet these people, and they usually are really cool people. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's my shtick. Play D&D. It's good for your brain.
It's good.
It's like
good.
reading.
Play Sudoku. Shout out to Sudoku.
Thanks for sponsoring this video, Sudoku. That's really nice of you.
Exercise your brain.
Yeah, it's dope.
When you're 80, use it to exercise your brain. Otherwise, you get dementia, and you don't want that.
You don't want to forget.
One thing goes: your mind or your body. So.
Yeah, I know. You get to be. You flip the coin.
Yeah,
you lose one or the other.
You either have your brain, but then you die a little bit short, or you live long enough to become a vegetable, and you're suffering, and it's sad.
I took a fucking dark turn. Thanks for.
Anyways,
literally.
I'm just giving a reality check to the people. That's how it is. Okay, your mind or your body goes. That's how it is.
So take care of both of them, I guess is what we're saying.
Take care of both of them. Eat your carrots. Eat cereal. Sponsored by Kellogg's.
You know what I just what was a letdown was the
Timbit cereal.
Yeah. That's not what I was gonna say, but God, that is gross.
When I saw it, I'm like, this is literally like corn pops.
It's terrible.
It's like corn pops.
It is really fucking gross.
There's the chocolate one, but that's like Cocoa Pops.
It's just, it was a novel idea, but what do they charge for it? Like $10 a box or something fucking ridiculous?
I have no idea. If you want a good, unhealthy cereal, get Crave.
Oh my God, Crave is gonna
Crave is so bad.
Crave is gonna kill you.
It's good.
It's chocolate filled AIDS bites.
It's chocolate filled like mini wheats looking things.
Yeah, but they're not quite mini wheats. They're like corn pops material.
And then the ones that are like they're not healthy, but you kind of like it's kind of healthy. It's like Frosted Flakes and frosted mini wheats.
I like mini wheats. I actually do like mini wheats. I think they're a good cereal.
I like mini wheats too.
I don't get them enough because they're expensive, but they are good.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't like Fruit Loops.
I don't mind Fruit Loops. I'm honestly hard pressed to dislike a cereal. I mean, if it has raisins in it, you can get that shit away from me because that's
you like Raisin Bran.
Raisin Bran people. I'm sorry.
Raisin Bran.
Stop.
2 scoops of raisins.
Eat something else. Just eat literally anything else. I don't care what it is.
I'm surprised they haven't made like a cereal that's like got like chocolate chips in it, like the small chocolate chips.
But that's just sugar.
Yeah, they got Lucky Charms is like marshmallows in it.
I know, but I actually.
Are you saying that's creative? That's like just fooling.
No, it's better
than
chocolate
Lucky Charms. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. We're just making the chocolate Lucky Charms. I know it's bad for you. And they then one company made just the marshmallow cereal.
Oh yeah, God, that
which I don't like. Cause I like eating. I like the
crunch of the
flavor, I guess.
I actually do really like the Lucky Charms little cereal pieces, not just the marshmallows. Whatever those little things are, they're good. Of it. Yeah, I would like a cereal with just those. Do you remember when they did the chocolate Lucky Charms?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
That shit was insane. Did you say that?
I did say that. They made a chocolate Lucky Charms. And
how did I not hear you?
He's like, Lucky Charms is like, okay, it's healthy. It's got like grains and marshmallows. And chocolate Lucky Charms is like, no, fuck you.
We are going all out.
We know what we are. We're unhealthy.
Yes, we're not trying to fool anybody anymore.
It's like Crave.
I remember when Crave was like
when you're buying Crave, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
You're
diabetes.
Diabetes.
You're buying a box of terrible shit.
I will say I do like Cheerios.
Like just straight up.
The plain Cheerios has a flavor. It's weird.
Yeah, it does. 100%. It's like water. You know, it's out of flavor.
I mean, when I was younger, I got like Honey Nut Cheerios. I love Honey Nut Cheerios.
I do like honey. I like all the Cheerios. Well, actually, that's not true. I don't like the banana ones.
There's banana and
apple
chocolate.
Cinnamon. I've never had the chocolate ones.
I think I've had
the apple cinnamon ones are. Oh, that's good. That's a good cereal. And it's halfway in between being.
Apple cinnamon, that's good.
It's halfway in between being bad and being like it's still Cheerios, so it's good or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, Cheerios are great for you just in general. But yeah, no. Wow, that was a tangent. The Jupiter.
What about Honeycomb?
They used to be good.
What do you mean they used to? I still think they're good.
They're shit now. They changed them.
Oh,
they did something to them. And they don't even look the same anymore. They look yellow. They're like stained yellow. Before they at least looked like they were made of grain. Now they look like they were paste out of some kind of alien mechanism that's like meant to replicate human foodstuffs. Like it doesn't look real.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like what they've done to whatever the hell those are supposed to be now because they sure as hell aren't honeycombs. But yeah, no. The Jupiter, was it Jupiter and Saturn like alignment thing?
Christmas Eve star or whatever. The Christmas star as it's called.
That was dumb. I couldn't even see it. The sky was so fucked, you couldn't see it. Oh, you didn't miss anything. You couldn't see it.
Well, yeah, because it's Canada and it's like it's all overcast.
Apparently everybody had overcast for it, which really sucked.
Oh well.
But I mean, a lot of people said that it had to do with the fact that it was again like the changing of the ages, right? Like we're in the age of Aquarius or whatever now, or maybe that's what we were in. I don't know.
800 years.
I forget what the time limit is.
The time limit.
Or the time allotment for the changing of the ages.
I love you say that the time limit. Like what?
But
the limit? What's gonna happen? We don't know.
That's the thing. People were hoping again because people need like a greater thing to hope for. They were hoping that like some crazy feat was gonna happen. I remember Twitter. Everyone thought they were gonna get superpowers. It's just where the hell do you get that from? Where the fuck do you get that from? Or do you, God, people are really stupid.
You're gonna get superpowers.
People are genuinely really, really dumb. And it is again, coming full circle, favorite pastime, watching stupid people. It's great.
You have the superpower to be ignorant or whatever. You have the superpower to like realize that.
You have the superpower to be so disconnected from reality that somehow you're able to make up your own and it makes sense to other people around you. Hey, the planets are going to align on the 21st.
I don't have Twitter, and I'm like...
Yeah, good. I mean, I have it. I actually don't use it as much as I would like to, because I don't like to use it. Why would I say that? I open it up, I see what it's about, and then I close it again, because I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll check Twitter. Yeah, okay, this will be a good idea. I'll find something worthwhile, and it's just... God.
It's just God. No, it's God awful.
It's just God.
It's just God awful. That's what you meant to say.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. It's really, really bad. Twitter, I think, is the worst social media out there.
Well, you don't want to see fat Uraraka?
No, I don't. I don't want to see fat
You don't want to see
cosplayers.
these adjusted, I don't get that. Like, what?
I don't actually follow most of anime Twitter. I stay away from it because it's, again,
I don't even
the
use
worst
Twitter.
place. I think it's the worst social... No, TikTok is the worst social media. But TikTok's not even a fucking social media. I don't know how you... I don't know how you call it a social... It's media, but it's not social. I think people just are like, oh, it's on your phone. That makes it social media. Like,
There's all these people on TikTok that are like millionaires, apparently.
which I don't understand. TikTok, it blows my mind because people who I know who are like normal everyday nobodies can get hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok, and it makes no sense. How are they finding you? You're not doing anything special. You're just doing a stupid fucking trend on TikTok, and you're getting all these views
or whatever.
It's just, and that's the worst part to me about TikTok is that it's used by so many.
That was the worst part because it was owned by China.
Well, I was gonna get to that. But what it does is it's so universally used by everybody, and it's used by kids.
Mm-hmm.
And there are all of these women on TikTok that are basically doing like really porn-esque shit. I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's so close to being softcore porn.
They're doing more suggestive shit.
Yeah, and then they get younger girls doing it too, and it's just like, it's just, the moral degradation of society as a whole, where that shit is acceptable.
It's all what you see on different people's feeds. Some people get other food. Some people get I don't know, women showing their butt or whatever.
And that's a really large majority of TikTok. But you are right, there is a bunch of different sides, because I know there's guys out there, I don't know what they're doing on TikTok, but they're like woodsman dudes who have their long ass beards and they're out in the bush.
Yeah.
And I found this, actually, I saw a clip of this really, because I don't use TikTok, but I see TikToks reposted on other platforms. And this guy,
because it's got that watermark.
Has the watermark.
That watermark.
And somebody will, in the comments, will be like, hey, yo, make an axe. And he'll just straight up do it out of stones and wood and shit. And it's really cool. Good. I like that, yeah.
It's cut into I don't know how long the videos are.
Well, that's the thing, right? TikTok is perfect for people who have their dopamine so fucking irregular in their body and all of their pleasure centers completely destroyed.
Dopamine's the bad one. Serotonin's the good one.
Well, dopamine's fine for you, but we have it so you can basically trigger it on demand, which isn't good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, endorphins and serotonin is the good shit. Endorphins is what you get when you exercise. That is really good for you.
Yeah.
But dopamine is it's like the caveman brain just activating, and it just makes you basically dopamine is the addiction chemical.
It's the addiction chemical.
It gets you, dopamine is what you get when you do drugs and when you eat sugar.
Yeah, the way it was described to me, it's like saying, it's like you're a kid and you first try, say, McDonald's.
Yeah.
And then then you love McDonald's. You're hooked on it. You don't know it's bad for you, but you get that, and then you want to chase that first,
it's chasing the first high.
The first high.
And you'll never get it again, so you eat more. You eat more McDonald's, or you eat more sugary shit. And yeah, that's how the MSG in that gets you. That's how they turn you into a consumer forever. Once you have McDonald's once, I feel like you're a consumer for them forever. Mm-hmm. You will eat McDonald's again in your life. You will eat McDonald's at least one point in your life. Yeah. But even then, I think McDonald's is fucking everywhere. Everybody always says Europeans or whatever eat healthier, and they do for the most part.
No, they do.
But if you go to Paris, there's McDonald's everywhere. Yeah, fucking everywhere in Paris.
Yeah, but I don't know. Are they doing well? Who's buying it there?
I'm sure they're doing just fine because it's literally McDonald's and it's one of the biggest corporations ever created. I'm sure they're doing okay in Europe, and they have exclusives and shit there too. So obviously they are making an effort to keep the company alive. Mm-hmm. Because they're promoting it with exclusives.
I don't know what European will go to McDonald's.
I'm sure a lot of them, because nightlife in Paris and in Europe is just getting drunk and eating shitty food.
I could see that.
During the daytime, though,
I could see that as a drunk food.
It is, thing. Yeah, it 100% is. But you can order wine. You can order beer at a McDonald's in Europe.
Oh my god, they had that here. That would be that's it.
Yeah, that's
no one would go anywhere else.
That is a pretty Canadian thing, though. I'm surprised they don't have that beer and poutine.
I'm surprised that McDonald's didn't try to make their own beer. Like a mixed
Oh
Stein.
yeah,
McBeer or whatever.
McStein. That's good.
There you go, McStein. There you go, McDonald's.
That is good, actually. I'm
That'd be
sure
the
it's
German
coming.
one.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming. There will be McDonald's. I actually wonder what kind of beer they do.
Then they got
serve
they got
at
the wine
European
selection. They got
McDonald's.
the McVineyard.
God, McDonald's wine. That's a wine critic's like. That's sleep paralysis for a wine critic. It's like they wake up and instead of seeing like a demon hovering over them, they just see a bottle of wine with the golden arches on it, and they're just nervously sweating. Jesus, that is awful. McDonald's wine.
There's actually
it's worse than boxed wine.
Funny enough about wine, there's actually a wine manga. You've heard of it, right?
There's a wine manga?
Yeah, it's called Drop of the Gods.
No.
You never heard of it?
No.
It's like a wine tasting manga where it's like a battle anime where it's like
It's like Food Wars.
kind of like that, except they're trying wine,
Oh
trying to
my
figure out
God.
the flavors.
Fuck me, the Japanese can make anything into a manga. Like the cat manga, which I can understand because it's a cat and it's funny.
Which cat one? I feel like
There's a lot. Yeah,
There's a lot.
There is a lot. I'm saying the cat manga like there is one, but I'm sure that if you ask the cat manga fans, they will tell you this one is the best. But yeah, no, and that's another crazy thing about Japanese storytellers is that they're able to take the most mundane shit and make it into a story somehow. Like, yeah, cat. This is the cat observing this family or whatever and having an inner monologue. I don't know what the cat does. I'm just thinking that's probably what it does. What else would the cat do? Wine manga. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Drop of the Gods, it's called?
I think so.
That sounds like, yeah, that makes sense.
I do like wine though. I do like wine.
That's such a funny fucking. that's great. I wonder what the I wonder when that's going to be just like. No, I guess it'll never happen. I was gonna say when will manga just be considered graphic novels in the West, but it never will because it's so the styles are so different and also they're not.
No, it
colored.
would never be called a graphic novel.
Which I think is good. It's important to make that differentiation because it's more than just an art style. Like the types of stories that manga and graphic novels tell are usually pretty different.
It's manga, but it's technically still called a graphic novel because there's a graphic and it's a novel. So it can be called it can be considered, if there's no manga section, it'll be in the graphic novel section.
Yeah, but that's the thing too. If you go into a bookstore, there is literally a manga section now.
Yeah.
That's how popular it is, which is weird to me. But, I mean, it's easy to find. It's easy to get a hold of, which is pretty cool.
I don't think at the chapters, I don't know if the comics say comic books or graphic novels.
I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't even check. I just look at
I
the manga.
feel like they would put graphic novels just for the sake of like, oh, it's not a comic book.
And that's such a shit thing too. Is you spend $14 on a comic book and it's like 30 pages, and you can spend the same amount of money on a manga and at least it's close to 100.
Yeah, because like if you want like a thick one, it's pretty pricey.
No, they are expensive, but that makes sense because the art is
Like
there.
it stems from the media what it used to be.
Yeah,
It used to be like nothing.
I know.
It used to be like a quick bite or whatever.
But now they have serialized it and turned it into a very lucrative business, which is, good for them.
Yeah,
That's
where I went from comics to manga.
Yeah, because when you're a kid, you can make that jump.
I wasn't big into comics, but
I never have been either.
I have some Deadpool books I read through them. I thought they were okay. Like Deadpool was pretty funny and stuff. It's just it was more focused on the story. He was kind of funny at times. But then like I made the transition to manga mainly from you guys and just my introduction to anime. Like I will say Initial D got me into anime.
Oh yeah.
That and Gurren Lagann.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well,
I watched Gurren Lagann, I think, before or after Initial D. I think it was the first one I watched because I remember it was at my dad's and I was watching it on Netflix and I watched it sub.
It's so great when you're first getting into the medium because your taste is all over the place.
Exactly what you think. I saw the chick with the tits. I'm like, all right.
Who, Yoko?
Yes.
Yeah, Yoko is.
That's how it all started.
I think Yoko was if you were watching anime when you were younger, Yoko was everyone's childhood crush at one point in time.
And then I watched Initial D, and that cemented my car guy hobby.
Yeah, I watched Evangelion, and it turned me into a schizophrenic. So that's you do pick up things from the anime you watch, which is funny because I was gonna say when you first start off watching anime, your taste is so underdeveloped, and you will literally jump from something as bombastic and ridiculous as Gurren Lagann to Initial D, where they drive cars.
Yeah.
And in Gurren Lagann, they're driving, you know, entire universes of
the only thing
galaxies. Was the ending of that show?
What?
How did it end with Simon piloting like literally a galaxy?
Yeah,
fighting another galaxy.
Yeah,
and then they
fighting like God or something.
And then in Initial D, the craziest thing that happens is the car stops working.
The car stops working. It's such a heart-wrenching moment.
I know.
Pun intended.
That's what's great is that you can, if you're a really good storyteller, you don't need to have, you know, two gods fighting for the stakes to be high. You can have a car break down and that be a big deal to people.
But would you consider like? I almost consider Initial D like a slice of life in a sense, at least the first 3 stages.
Or a sports anime, yeah. But those two things are one and the same. A sports anime and a slice of life are very similar.
It's like I had this weird like thing where I was like, it's like a racing anime with slice of life elements. And I love the slice of life elements.
I don't know enough about it to comment on it.
No, it's because it's just
well,
it's just literally like just what car guys do. I mean, they hang out at a gas station. I mean, they talk about car guy stuff in the next race.
Station. Is that real?
Yeah, they all work at a gas station.
No, I know they work at a gas station because I was gonna say if you're into cars as your hobby, right? You don't like take your car to the gas station just to talk to other drivers.
I mean, in the States, like car guys go to Stonic because it's like a drive-in and eat place. But
oh, true. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, yo guys, we meeting up at the SO.
Yeah, we meeting up at the SO, boys. Oh yeah, that would.
But it's just like because even like the car guy people, some of them have watched Initial D. I mean, I'm pretty sure.
And they're not into anime. They're just like cars.
No.
Okay. Yeah. No, I can see that.
Yeah, they're just in the cars. Which in Japan, you know, anime and cars go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And everyone in Japan's like seen Initial D and Wangan Midnight.
I don't know about that. I'm curious to actually know what.
Well, I like Wangan Midnight too because it's a different like racing scene compared to Initial D because Initial D is mountain roads.
Yeah.
Which is
it's more
down
those roads.
If to compare it to competitive like racing, it's like rally driving.
Oh, okay.
Because like F1's good. I like it, but like if you want to show someone motorsport, you show them either like maybe like bike racing or you show them rally.
Yeah.
Because rally's intense. They're going down winding roads. They're sliding on dirt roads.
Yeah, and there is a lot of skill involved.
They're in a 400 like horsepower car that weighs nothing and they're just going. Which with like Wangan Midnight, it's highway driving. It's about the Wangan and especially what Midnight is, the Midnight like club.
Yeah.
Which most car guys know. I hit the mic. Most car guys know what it is, but most normal people don't. And it's like with the Bozuzoku, but anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. So the Wangan Midnight is a group of people who were basically elitist people in Japan. They were like businessmen.
Secret car society.
Secret car society.
Yeah.
It's up there with the Illuminati.
Yeah, they control the world with their vehicles.
It's a conspiracy theory of car nerds. But
they do exist.
They do exist. There's certain people in the car world that people say they might be them, but they don't know. Oh,
so yeah, you don't come out and say I'm part of the Midnight Club. You don't.
No.
Tell anybody.
I don't know how they didn't figure out who these people. Well, I think there's videos of certain people who are, and they showed themselves because there is old footage of showing them the cars and going on the highways. Mm-hmm. Guy in the passenger seat with this huge ass camera.
Yeah,
it's sweet. But then it's like, so like it's a Midnight Club. It's a car group, but they're elitist people and they have a strict code of ethics. Mm. So the way it works is if you want to get into the scene, you have to be recognized by them, and then you have to be an apprentice for a year.
Okay.
And you have to be respectful, you can't be hot-headed, and you can't crash.
Oh, okay.
You can't be hot-headed, you can't taint the image. Mm. And people who say like these people who are like, oh, I'm gonna put the Midnight Club on the top of my windshield.
That's how you know you're definitely not in it.
Yeah, their cars would be like totaled. They would be destroyed. Like,
really? People will like destroy them?
They won't take them, but they'll like damage the car.
Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah, like because the people who like the Midnight Club is the top like racing, like club in the Wangan because they were people with money. And then there was another podcast I listened to, a car podcast, saying like how it was like almost like the boom of the Japanese economy in the 90s because all these cars came out. Like
everyone was buying them.
Everyone was buying them. There's so many Japanese cars that are great, but like it was like also testing like the parts of just all these companies that they're making these parts and testing them on these cars to like it was almost like prototyping like race cars,
So how do you stop people from being just like, yeah, I'm in the midnight club? Like, how do you know who's bullshitting?
Well, it's even then with like meetings. Like meetings would be in newspapers. They'd be like pseudo messages. Like,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
it was crazy.
You see, that's cool, but like, come on, you drive cars fast. You know, you don't fucking, yeah, I don't know.
It's just
You're not praying to a dark god.
Overcomplicating it, but it's really cool.
It is neat, I guess. Yeah, no, I respect that.
Because on the way in, they're going like 200, 300K.
Yeah,
on the highway.
That is pretty insane.
It's a different type of speed than twisty mountain roads. It's completely, they're night and day. But it's crazy. And like the famous one was the Blackbird Porsche. It was an old Porsche. Not a Japanese car, a Porsche.
I know, that's weird. That is actually weird.
Which I think was, they didn't have a Japanese Porsche at the time, so it was like, the driver's seat was on I'm trying to remember, I'm getting confused, the left hand. So it was a left-handed car.
Yeah, because it's American.
In Japan.
Mm-hmm. Do they? Okay, actually, in Japan, the standard. Do they drive on the right? Where's the driver's seat?
The steering wheel's right.
Okay, so it's like European.
It's like British.
Yeah. So then what side of the road do they drive on?
Will be flipped.
So they're driving on the left side. Oh, okay.
Right side, left side.
Yeah. Well, we
take a little bit getting used to driving there.
Yeah, that is okay. So they do. So they drive. So they have the same road etiquette as the British. Then.
Yes.
That's weird. I wonder why.
I don't know why. Yeah.
Do you think it's just because of proximity?
No,
it's gotta be.
I don't know. I think it's just how like the way cars evolved. Like it's like you can put it on either side. It's even like in Australia, they're like Japan.
Yeah.
So it just I don't know. It just depends on which side you put it on. They didn't standardize a universal side. Yeah.
No, they did but I just usually countries who that doesn't make any sense because I was gonna say usually countries who were at one point in time under British rule follow their road creation, but then when you think about it, the British Empire wasn't really...
but I don't think it went as far as to say like, oh, we drive on this side of the road and have cars this
No,
side.
but I mean, it doesn't matter because, Canada was a British colony forever, and we drive on the right side of the road, and they drive on the left. Mm-hmm. So
I think you got those switched.
Wait, do I?
Yeah, because if this is a road,
yeah,
we'd be driving on the right.
Right, that's what I said.
They'd be driving on the left.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, maybe I'm mixing them up.
So, but we were literally under the dominion of the Brits forever, and we drive that way.
We still are.
No, we're really not. No, I think I don't know how the documentation reads. I know we still have the Governor General, stupidest fucking job in the world, by the way. I cannot believe that is still a thing. You get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to be like, yeah, okay. That's your job, is to be like, yes, I am the Queen's assent. Okay, who gives a shit? You're nobody.
You're just like confirming stuff.
You just are like, yes, this is in the interest of the British Empire. The British Empire doesn't fucking exist anymore. They don't give a shit. I don't know when and you know what? Actually, I read somewhere that we actually still give a pretty decent amount of money in taxes to the British, to the royal family. At least I think it's the royal family. It might be the British government, but I don't remember for sure. But Canadians do give like millions of dollars to someone in England. I can't remember if it is the government or if it's the royal family, but that's ridiculous that we are still paying them any kind of money whatsoever.
Anyways, we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, this is getting pretty long. We'll close it down
with
that
episode. People get really a taste for us.
That's an hour and 30 minutes. I'd say that's more of
It's an hour and 30 minutes? Jeez.
Yeah.
That's a good start.
Not exactly a taste, more of a full course meal.
Full course meal. Three-piece, four-course meal of a bucket meal.
Of just ridiculous bullshit. If that's the case, I hope you all enjoyed listening to this more than bite-sized podcast.
Yep.
We hope you join us again for dessert. I'm going to stop with this analogy. I can't, because you're done with dessert. There's no more food.
It's tiramisu. The dessert's tiramisu.
Okay, well then no one's going to come back.
No one's going to come back.
No one's going to come back for that.
Tiramisu's good. Anyways.
Thank you all for stopping by. Thank you for listening. We hope you join us for the next one. And we will see you when the time comes. Goodbye.